What's up, college football fans, quarterback fans? Thanks for tuning in to another QB Spotlight episode. Today we're talking about Wisconsin quarterback Tanner Mordecai. And if this is your first time tuning in or first time stumbling upon this channel, one, thank you for tuning in and watching. And two, this is just a quarterback channel that puts out quarterback content on a weekly basis. We're just a quarterback hub. Anything related to the quarterback position is fair game here, from quarterback interviews to interviews with coaches to film breakdowns, from just basic quarterback talks like we're doing right here. And so I want to get into Tanner Mordecai, the Wisconsin quarterback, former SMU and former Oklahoma quarterback. Again, anyone watching this video will have more than enough idea of who Tanner Mordecai is. But I want to talk about why I think he can potentially be the best quarterback in the Big Ten. Now, several things have to happen, and we're going to get into that. But I think there's a chance for him, when it's all said and done, to be the best quarterback in the Big Ten. And number one is his experience. He's entering his sixth year. He's been the quarterback at SMU the past few seasons, has put up huge numbers, over 60-plus passing touchdowns the past two years combined. And so he's got a ton of experience, right? And when you combine that with new offensive coordinator Phil Longo for Wisconsin, the former UNC OC, I think the fact that he's going to be able to put Tanner in a position to succeed and take some thinking off the quarterback, I think that only bodes well for Mordecai. If you look at Longo's history, right, training or coaching the best quarterbacks in the ACC the past few years, from Sam Howell to Drake May, that's got to be an encouraging sign if you're a Wisconsin fan and if you're Tanner Mordecai just in general. So I think marrying those two together, I think is the number one reason, or one of the reasons why Mordecai could be the best quarterback in the Big Ten. I think the fact that he has so much experience and he's used to being around multiple coaches, different or new coaches in different seasons, right? From transferring from Oklahoma to SMU, had new coaches at SMU, and now transferring to Wisconsin. So he's been in 3 different conferences now, several different coaching staffs, several different offensive schemes, and he's done well, where he's gone. And so I think that's another reason why I think he can be the best quarterback, or one of the best quarterbacks in the Big Ten. And then another one that maybe gets overlooked at times is Wisconsin's got a pretty favorable schedule. And I'll put the schedule up so you can kind of walk through it. But, they play Iowa in week 6 or 7. They have Ohio State, but they don't have to play Michigan. They don't have to play Penn State, right? Not even Michigan State, right? So you have some tough teams. Purdue could be challenging. Any team could they could slip up against Washington State week 2, but still, they should be the favorites in most of those games, maybe every game until they reach Ohio State or maybe Iowa. But I think a favorable schedule could potentially allow Mordecai to put up some pretty big numbers within this Phil Longo offense that will allow him to, be considered the best quarterback in the Big Ten. But let's look at this film that we're watching. Now, we're not going to break down any film today, but hey, if you want a Tanner Mordecai film breakdown where we kind of dive into the details a bit deeper, let us know in the comments, and we'll put that on the list. But I think this game that we're watching, it's a game against TCU, I think does a good job kind of showing an example of what Mordecai is capable of doing and what Mordecai needs to do to kind of take the next step and continue to improve, right? Mordecai put up huge numbers against a lot of teams, but several teams that were, a bit better, if you will, played some press man, got some pressure on him. He struggled at times. TCU and Cincy, if you're interested in watching games that he struggled in, go watch TCU and Cincinnati. Not to take anything away from him, but when he played tougher competitions, it got tougher for them, which is obvious. But even though the stats he put up was crazy last year, he had 33 passing touchdowns. 9 of those touchdowns came in one game against U of H. If you take that away, that's going to lower the passing touchdowns considerably. Right now, you don't take those numbers away, but I think it gives you an example of the not up and down play, because he played great, but just the tendencies to come back down to earth, if you will, against other teams. But if we're watching these TCU clips, you're seeing some success, right? You're seeing him do well against zone. You're seeing him throw some pretty damn good balls, but at the same time, you're seeing some of these clips, you're seeing him struggle a little bit against press man. And his biggest thing, and Mordecai's biggest, I think, takeaway to improve on, is when he gets out of a groove, finding a way to get back into that groove. That's not necessarily something you can kind of have in a box score or stat line, but I think he needs to stay within a groove, right? Whenever he stays in that groove, whenever he's playing against lower level teams, he just kills it. But against TCU, against Cincinnati, both years he played Cincinnati, he was, I think had 160 yards both games combined total, right? So once he gets knocked out of that groove, then he tends to force it at times. So I think that's the biggest thing, is just the consistency factor playing these higher level teams. And so I think watching TCU, watching games against Cincy gives you a good idea of maybe what could happen against, Big Ten opponents, where you're going to see some really good plays. But then you could see some areas that need improvement. But that's why I think this Phil Longo offense can really help Mordecai take that next step in his just quarterback development as a whole. And in doing that, I think if he's able to take that next step, if he's able to be consistent, if he's able to get back in a groove, so to speak, after he gets knocked out of a groove, then he can potentially be the best quarterback in the Big Ten. For the simple fact, the Big Ten is not thin at quarterback. I don't want to say that, but there's a lot of turnover, right? You got a new Ohio State quarterback who's probably going to play pretty freaking well, let's be honest. But still, you got a new position or a new starter there. Penn State has a new starter. The top quarterback returning, in my opinion, is J.J. McCarthy from Michigan, but he's within striking distance if you are Tanner Mordecai. So I think some stuff has to play in favor for Mordecai to be the best quarterback in the Big Ten. I think it's fair to say it's McCarthy right now, and probably Ohio State. Whoever ends up winning that competition is probably going to play pretty well. But let's say it doesn't happen. Let's say Ohio State's quarterback takes time to develop. Penn State's new quarterback Drew Aller takes time to develop. No one really pops out. Hudson Card doesn't pop out, at Purdue, but Tanner Mordecai does, and I think he could definitely be the best quarterback in the Big Ten. So I think there's a path for that to happen. I think there's a reasonable chance for that to happen. Is it going to happen? Who knows? That's why we watch the game and the season and let things kind of play themselves out. But Mordecai, overall, huge numbers. Really, really good quarterback, has a chance to play at the next level, especially if he has another good year here at Wisconsin. I think combining him with Phil Longo is a big benefit for both. I think Mordecai can fit Longo's offensive system. He's a better athlete than given credit for. He can use his legs a little bit, and so I think Longo likes having a quarterback that can use his legs a bit. But he's got so much experience. He's comfortable going through progressions, comfortable staying in the pocket, reading the defense, going backside. There's a lot of stuff to like about Mordecai. So if he can continue to build on his consistency when he's playing higher level teams, then he could definitely be the best quarterback in the Big Ten. But like I said, there's 3 or 4 of the quarterbacks that I think can compete for that title. But Wisconsin fans, or just college football fans in general, I want to hear from you. What do you think about Mordecai at Wisconsin? Can he be the best quarterback in the Big Ten? Are these points even relevant? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what other quarterback you want to see. Let me know if you want to see an actual film breakdown as opposed to just some film being shown as I'm talking. Let us know in the comments below. We'll get to it and put one out if that's of any interest. But if you made it through this video, thank you for watching. You're probably a diehard Wisconsin fan or just a quarterback fan. So we appreciate you watching, tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, liking the video. It really does help the channel grow. And let us know in the comments any opinions, anything else you want to see. Let us know below. We'll see you next time. Peace.